In this video, we're reviewing the WWE Elite Top Picks 2026 Wave number 1 series. And in this series, it is CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Now, if you've been following along with the channel, maybe you haven't, these were two of my favorite reveals at San Diego Comic-Con, and it kind of is crazy because these figures in particular, you know, we've had 100 CM Punks. We've seen 6 million Roman Reigns. What makes these so unique? Well, it was revealed at Comic-Con that these guys were going to have a lot of brand new tooling, a lot of brand new things introduced into the Mattel line. Both of these guys feature first time on the line torsos, which means they're getting rid of 2 torsos on these guys that we have seen for years and years. This guy has had the Daniel Bryan torso for a long time. Roman Reigns has had the Ultimate Warrior torso for a long time. Today, we're going to dive in and solve the new mystery of these new torsos that we got to see back at Comic-Con, and we can finally have it in hands. 4 new head sculpts on here. I'm very excited for this wave. There's only 2 figures featured, but I think that these could be huge steps in the right direction in the Mattel line and history. This could be 2 groundbreaking figures that we're going to get into today, man. But let's take a look at this packaging, man. I'm really digging the new packaging. We also saw that back at Comic-Con this past year in the summer, and I think this packaging is incredible, or you could call it elite. You have the front viewing window, you have the little side portrait. It just looks so much better than the last packaging, but the gold trim with the red looks really, really clean as well. You can see the front viewing window with CM Punk. He's got that meme head sculpt. We got the smile. I'm very excited to dive into it with you, but there's a shot of CM Punk, and then on the back, we do have a shot of CM Punk here from War Games, and then you can only see the 2 figures in the wave there. That is the CM Punk packaging, and one little cool Easter egg here is if you put them beside each other, you have them looking at each other, which is kind of what the meme is and what this figure set is kind of all about. But then we have the Roman Reigns, which this is a guy and a figure that I'm very excited for. We have 2 brand new head sculpts. Could they be the best Roman Reigns head sculpts? We're going to find out today and unpack them. I was up in the air about them. I didn't really know. Today we're going to figure it out, but Roman Reigns down here. Great shot of the handsome fella there. Roman Reigns on the side, and then Roman Reigns on the back looking like a million. And then you have everything going on here. But again, there's the side of the packaging, man. But I don't want to wait any longer, man. Let's crack these guys open. Let's find out what these figures are about. We've been patient. We've been waiting. Today we're going to solve it. Let's get into it. But before we crack them open, man, if you guys want to pick these figures up, go over to Ringside Collectibles. Use code MDTOYS to save yourselves 10% when shopping over there. Lots of figures for sale. Do not miss out on it. Huge shout out to Ringside Collectibles for making the review possible. But we're going to crack these guys open and find out what they're about. And let's get into it right now. So here we have both new Top Picks Elites of Roman Reigns and CM Punk out of the packaging. Diving into it, man. I'm impressed with the first reactions. You know, I haven't had all the time in the world to kind of pose them around and get into it, but that is what the video is all about. We're going to dive into it, but first impressions are nice. We're going to get into it, of course, break it all down for you, but what we're going to do is dive into CM Punk's accessories and CM Punk first, and then we will run it back and take a closer look at the Tribal Chief's accessories and the Tribal Chief and find out how these new Top Picks Elites compare to the old CM Punks and the old Roman Reigns, and see if this is our definitive additions or if this is a step in the right direction. So let's get into CM Punk. So here we are with CM Punk's accessories. We're going to get into the head sculpts first. And we're starting things off with this new one here that is kind of that bro flow, or, you know, it's starting to grow thicker and grown out, kind of what it looks like on TV right now. Incredible likeness on this head sculpt. I like it a lot. I like the salt and pepper beard. I think this looks just like CM Punk. It looks like he's looking to the right slightly. Wish it was straight on. Maybe mine's a misprint. I don't know. But it still looks really good. The likeness is good. The sculpt is nice. They did a really good job on these, man. It's crazy how good these head sculpts are nowadays. It's like they shrunk down the person. It's just insane. And then we have the Goofy head sculpt here, kind of, you know, making that smirk face, looking off to the side there, off in the distance from when him and Roman Reigns were locked in the cage at Survivor Series War Games. Funny enough, you know, Survivor Series War Games coming up. But this is funny. I think, you know, it works. We've seen these goofy things from Mattel in the past, and I like the sculpt. I think it turned out really clean, too. It looks like Punk doing this face from the pictures I've seen. They did a good job on this, man. You know, it's goofy. It's kind of funny. Like, why would you make this into a figure? But at the same time, they executed it well, and I can't really complain about it. If they execute it well, who am I? And then we do have the cut off or sleeveless CM Punk shirt here, man, which is really cool. And it does have the Punk Chicago flag on the back there, which is pretty cool. And it's non-Velcro, and it's very stretchy, and it fits the figure well, which I like. I didn't notice any staining, but you want to be careful there. This is very nice, though. I'll never complain about cloth goods, especially without Velcro. This is incredible. And then we have the interchangeable hands. We have the mic holding hands, but it does have the sculpted hand tape with the red X's, which is pretty cool. The only thing you'll notice, man, is he does not have his knuckle tattoos. No drug-free tattoos, which is something they have addressed. They said they're trying to get this fixed, but it is very bummy that is not featured on this figure. Now, I think there is a way to fix this, which we'll get into. I think if you swap the hands with his Mattel Creations Ultimate or his new pink SummerSlam Ultimate, we'll get into that. I'll kind of showcase that, but we also have the pair of fisted hands with the same sculpted hand tape, which is nice. I think this is such an added detail because they have added wrist tape sculpt now, which is just incredible. And it just adds such a layer to the figure and adds a lot of depth and detail. And then they have this handshaking hand from the moment that him and Roman Reigns shook hands in the ring. Now, one thing I've noticed about these handshaking hands, we have two brand new sculpts. Now, I'm going to bring Roman Reigns in so you can see. Here is the difference. You have CM Punk's here and Roman Reigns here. You have the gauntlet sculpted onto Roman's, and the pattern on there is nice. We won't cover it. Well, I guess we could slightly cover it when we get into Roman Reigns accessories. But all of this is sculpted on. You can see the pattern. They did a good job here. But there is a peg on the Roman Reigns, and then there's a port on the CM Punk. So, in the ring, I could have swore they just did a traditional handshake, but I cannot get these hands to go together in a traditional handshake sense, unless I'm just stupid and don't know how to do it. But I have found if you do it like a dap up instead of a handshake like this, this is how you get it together. And you can kind of port that together, and then I found this the easiest way, then port it on the Roman or on the CM Punk and then do the other. And this is kind of what you're left with. And I don't think this is bad, but it is not a handshake. This is a dap up. You know what I mean? This is more of a what's good big dog Tiger Woods meme. You know what I mean? But I'll also add that the peg on these hands is slightly longer. So when you interchange these hands, I have noticed some looseness on the other hands, because you'll see that the peg difference is slightly different. It's a little longer, a little thicker at the top, and it does make a difference. And then here's the Roman Reigns. So you do get a little bit of looseness there, but it's still a fun gimmick. It's just, I don't know, it's a little odd, but that is all your accessories. I don't think it's a traditional handshake hand. It is a cool little gimmick, though. I mean, is anybody going to use this? I don't know. I don't know. Let me know what you think. So CM Punk starting out with the head sculpt, man, I like this head sculpt. I do wish, again, he was looking straight instead of slightly to the right, but I still like it a lot. I think they did a good job here on this likeness. The sculpt looks good. This looks exactly what he looked like last night on Monday Night Raw to me. Now, I could be wrong. You can let me know, but I think the big deal about this figure is going to be this brand new sculpted torso, man. Such a W for the people that did not like the Daniel Bryan torso. Now, I will say, I was always saying that while I didn't like the Daniel Bryan torso, I always thought that the Daniel Bryan torso could fit a CM Punk. It didn't bother me as much on CM Punk. It didn't bother me on guys like Sami Zayn and stuff like that, but I do really like this new one. I think that it's a lot more broad. It would fit guys like a Daniel Bryan. It would fit guys like that from back in the day, so I do like this. Now, I'm going to say this right now. They got to redo the chest decal here for CM Punk. For years and years, they've continued to use this. Pretty sure all these flowers are filled in now. The tattoos are way more colorful. They need to go back and look at it and add some color here. I think that would add a lot of depth, too. You have the straight edge tattoo there, which I think is nice. He's got the double jointed arms with all that. Just look at the amount of details we're getting here now, man. You have this brand new torso that looks more accurate. You have sculpted wrist tape, sculpted hand tape. Now, they are missing the drug-free tattoos on the knuckles. We've addressed that. But I just like this so much more, man. It looks so much better. You also have that white elbow pad over there. And then we do have the War Games attire with the camo underneath the stars, which I think looks good. You have that camo pattern continuing throughout here. So you have that red, white, and black all mixed together looking. And then you can see the continuation of the pattern there, looking like he's teaming up with the damn Dudley Boys, which I think is pretty cool. That's pretty sweet there with the camo, fits the War Games theme. Then you have the legs here. They are the pin legs, which I like. And then he also has the open knee pads, which are sweet. And then we do have the kick pads. Now, my kick pads are pretty damn clean for the most part, man. I don't know. Blessed and highly favored. I always get blessed with the kick pads, man. Everybody always talks about QC issues and paint chipping. Mine looks damn great. Look at that. That's pretty clean for the most part. You may have a little bit of but the camo's kind of going to hide it anyway. So that's pretty clean there. Now, I think the big thing here is how does he pose? What does he pose like? I will say that the ab crunch may be a little loose on that top part. It does get tighter here, but it does get a little loose on the front end. Not the biggest deal of all time. It still can stand up straight. But what are we thinking from far away? We're getting to the comparison in a minute, but I just think it looks so much more broad. I don't know, but you can't really look down or up that much. You get a little bit of pivoting here. Ab crunch again. Ab crunches on WWE figures, man. I really wish they could integrate it, make it better. Hopefully the Ultimates can take a step, but you can see back bends there. Just not a lot of ab crunch forward for whatever reason, but you get the full rotation, bicep cut, double jointed pinless arms, which are terrific. You get the hinge and the swivel in the wrist, of course. Waist is tight, which is good. Now, this is what scares me about these legs here, man. His legs are not as free flow as I wish they were. They kind of remind me of the old legs, so you can kick forward pretty good. I really don't even want to kick out, but I'll show it to you. You can kick out to the side, but when you bring it back down, you can see it get stuck right here. When you have this, you want to push this into the socket and then push it down very slowly because you will easily snap that leg. You want to be careful there. Just letting you know. This one also kicks up, and I don't have the snap back and forth leg problem, which is a great thing, but you do get upper thigh cut. Double jointed knees, which are terrific. You get the kick pad rotation, ankles go up and down, and then you get the new ankles that give you the nice rocker action there. But overall, I do like this so much better. I think the build is there. Wish the legs weren't so stiff, but aesthetically, I am rocking with this. But first of all, let's just bring up an old CM Punk formula so you can see it side by side, and then we'll get into the big comparisons between all the figures. So for a one-of-one comparison, so you can see, this is the new torso compared to the old one, and it just looks so much more realistic. He just looks tiny here, which again, it didn't bother me that much, but look at how you have sculpted hand tape, sculpted wrist tape versus painted on. You have a better torso, a better representation of Punk. Heights are virtually the same, maybe a little taller over here, but CM Punk is kind of sneaky tall. He's like 6'1.5", 6'2", and I don't know, do you guys like the new torso? Do you not like the new torso? Let me know what you guys think. I'm digging it, man. I think it looks pretty good for the most part. I haven't experienced anything that pisses me off about it just yet, but let's get into the rest of our CM Punk figure comparisons. So you can correct me if I'm wrong, man, but I think this is every WWE Elite CM Punk we've gotten since he returned at Survivor Series War Games a couple years ago. Am I wrong? I think this is correct. From left to right, you have the Hell Frozen Over, Survivor Series Mattel Creations exclusive return figure, Defining Moments Pipe Bomb ringside exclusive Punk, Elite 113 Macho Man Punk, Elite 121 White Gear Punk, the new top picks, the Elite 115, the Royal Rumble 2010 gear, the top picks from last year, and then you have the Straight Edge Society from the Vault ringside exclusive on the right. I'm pretty sure this is every Elite CM Punk, and I like the new one. I think it looks good, man. And if you don't like the way the torso looks, I guess you could put a shirt on there, but I think it looks pretty damn good, man. I think it'd be interesting to see what it looks like if you removed the tattoo and then gave us a throwback Punk. I'm interested to see what that looks like. I'm glad they haven't given him pinless legs yet. I'm kind of afraid to when they do go to pinless legs. I really am not looking forward to that because I don't know what it's going to be like. But let's compare this new Elite to the Ultimate Editions. And here is the new Elite Top Pick CM Punk up next to all of our Ultimate Edition CM Punks. And this is a nice solve, man. If you want the drug-free tattoos, you can switch the hands from this figure. It'll give you the black X's, but you'll have those drug-free tattoos in there. So if you wanted to do that, and then you could do it with this figure too, but it has the blue X's. And then I guess if you want to, man, you can, let's do some head swaps here or something so you can kind of see what that looks like. Maybe put on the Ultimate right here. See what this looks like on here. I don't hate that, man. I don't hate that right there. That's not bad. So you do have that, and then you could put the new head sculpt on this Ultimate Edition. That looks pretty damn good too, man. So you have some viable options right here. I think you could, yeah, that looks pretty good right there. I don't hate that. Not hating that right there, but I guess that does it for your CM Punk figure comparisons. And now we're getting into Roman Reigns accessories. Just like Punk, you get a couple interchangeable heads, you get some interchangeable hands, you get the handshake gimmick. And first off, we're getting into his meme head sculpt, or his off to the side looking from that same moment where, you know, CM Punk was looking off in the cage. And here's what they're kind of supposed to look like on either side here. And it is a funny looking smirk face for Roman Reigns. I do like it. I also like the fade on the sides. The gradient right there looks really, really clean. I like the likeness. It's a funny head sculpt. I like also how they made the hair look wet, so it's thinner. It's not as thick. It doesn't get in the way like some older Roman Reigns head sculpts we've seen. I think that's brilliant. And I low-key wish they did. You remember how at the press conferences or at the contract signings, how he always used to kind of scoff and laugh? I kind of wish we got that head sculpt, but I guess we kind of got that in the SummerSlam wave. If you do the smiling man bun, I guess that works. But I still like this. I think this is pretty funny. Kind of got the lips puckered out. Kind of reminds me of that Moana little kid that does the dance. Kind of reminds me of that. But then we have the serious head sculpt, or this brand new Roman Reigns head sculpt here that everybody has been asking me about. Is this perfect? Is this the one? And I think this is probably the closest we've been. I really like the wet hair look here. I think that the fade looks pretty good on the sides here. Now, I think you could remove some of this paint here, which we may do on surgery or something like that, but I still think that the gradient looks incredible right there. The fade looks nice. The wet hair looks nice. The expression I like. I wish he was a little more angry. I wish that he had his eyebrows slightly slanted. Does that make sense? Like, just a little bit more pissed off. The only one, you know how, I think the likeness is better on this one, but I wish he was kind of angry, if that makes sense. But it's funny how both of these look like him, but you can just see this one's a little bit less cartoony, a lot more realistic on this new one here, but I like the hair. I like the face and everything. I think the beard shape is what we're missing. I think the beard needs to be maybe a little bit more square here on the bottom. I don't know, but this is so good, man. I really do like it. I think this is the closest we've been, and it looks really damn good. I'm happy with this. I just wish he was a little angrier, but damn, I like this a lot. Then as always, we do get our one gauntlet hand and our one offhand that looks pretty good here. I love the patterns on the gauntlet too. They did a really good job with that kind of tribal Samoan pattern. I think that looks really good. You also get a pair of fisted hands with the same deal here. I cannot wait till they make his Mania 41 gear in the white, man. That is going to be an excellent figure. I cannot wait for that. And then you do get the We the Ones hands here, which we have seen multiple times over, but it's well sculpted. And then we already took a look at this, but here is the handshaking dap-up style hands. A little large, but I don't know. You guys saw the gimmick. You can let me know. Do you like the gimmick or do you not like the gimmick? Let me know what you think. So getting into Roman Reigns, man, I think it looks like Roman, especially from the angle. I just wish he was more angrier, man. But I do like the likeness, and then underneath here, there's something about the beard. I can't place it, but I love the wet hair look. Again, I think that works because in the past, what you'll see in the comparisons, the hair's been so thick that it's hard to kind of articulate and get them into certain poses sometimes, and I think this looks so much better, so I do like that. And this head sculpt sits nicely on here, which I do like, and then we have a look at this brand new torso, which I think just works so much better for Roman Reigns. So nice. It's got all the tattoos, man. Only the real G's remember the gap shoulder tattoo. Holy smokes, man. What a time to be alive that was. This looks so much better, man. You don't even know the dark days we've been through to get to this moment. The torso looks really good, though. They did a fantastic job on this new torso. I think it looks concise. It looks tight. Got the shoulder in there, the full sleeve tattoo. Looks very clean. They did a fantastic job here on all of this. Gauntlets look really good as well. You'll notice this is the older molded gauntlet. This is not the new gauntlets yet, but you do have the nice pattern in there, which I think they did a good job on. I think this one says Tribal Chief on it. Yeah, right there says Tribal Chief. That's excellent. And you even have the back tattoo. Remember one where you never used to get the back tattoo as well. And then you do have these pinless legs, which look really good. Now, this is not the old mold. I mean, this is the old mold, but it's got the Ultimate boots in there, so it makes it just feel so much better. The Ultimate boots, man, just make these legs so much more digestible. Like the old boots, one of my least favorite molds that Mattel's ever done is the old Shield legs with the old boots, but these new legs with these new Ultimate boots just look so much better. But he does have the red outsoles, no logos on there or anything. I don't know if that's accurate, but the Ultimate Edition boots look really, really clean, so I'm glad that looks great. I'm hoping we'll get the Kobe 9s, like the custom Kobe 9s from the Raw Netflix debut, and I hope we get WrestleMania 41 Roman. I want both of those. Am I ridiculous? But I just think, looking at this figure standing back, it just looks so much more like Roman Reigns than we have seen in the past. Can you guys see what I'm talking about? It just looks so much better. It's hard to describe. Let's get into the articulation, man. Can't really look up or down because of the hair, unfortunately. Ab crunch on this new Roman torso is decent compared to other ab crunches. I still think that all WWE Elites and Ultimates could improve in ab crunch. It can go back pretty far there. Shoulders go above 90. You get the full rotation. Bicep cut, double jointed pinless, which is great. Swivel and hinge in the wrist, of course. And one thing I do like is these shoulders are tight. They don't feel like they're loose or anything, which is so fantastic. The waist is also tight, which is just such an underrated nice thing to see. Legs are on ball joints. Can kick up that far out to the side. It's not like super tight either, which is nice. The upper thigh cut is smooth. The double jointed knee is smooth. It's not super tight either. You get the boot cut. The feet go up and down, and then you do get the toe pivot. You do not get the new ankle articulation because this is the old Ultimate Edition boots, which I can appreciate here. I do like the ankle pivot, but I like the aesthetic of these boots a lot. I think they just add a lot to the figure. So it doesn't really bother me that he doesn't have the newer ankles. I can live with this on a Roman Reigns figure, but I don't know, man. I'm just really digging this Roman Reigns figure a lot. I'm liking it a lot. Very damn close to perfection. Let's get into some Roman Reigns figure comparisons. And for our first comparison, we do have MDT champion pick-fed Roman Reigns from when I declared him the Tribal Chief or the head of the bloodline, and then, you know, we kind of got the character in real life, which is crazy. Now, I did give him a different look here, which I still like. I think it's very creative and everything like that. Got the red tights on there and everything underneath, but I don't think this head's interchangeable. Yeah, I'm scared of that. I don't want to really interchange for that, but this is a custom head sculpt on there, and you see how pissed off he is? I kind of wish that this one had that, but look at this hair. You see how thick it is and long and stuff? Just kind of, I don't know. I still love this figure. It's just, I love the new wet hair. It just adds a dimension to it that I think is ultimate, so I like that a lot. I wanted to compare it to this figure just to kind of see what that looks like. Now, I did order a couple more of these because I think I'm going to try try to make this into the equivalent with, you know, the new torso and stuff like that, because I think that's important, but just wanted to get into that. And then for another comparison, here's the new Top Picks Elite Roman up next to the Ultimate Edition Roman Reigns that I did customize into a WrestleMania 41. So he stands a little shorter because I put Big E boots on him, so he kind of has that shorter look there, but I also put a custom painted head sculpt on there. I don't know, let's do a head swap here and kind of see what this looks like. Maybe we can get a better read on this. So here is the new Roman head sculpt on this Ultimate. He sits a little low. I need to pick it up just a little bit and not push it all the way down. Maybe that would help it. Yeah, that's not too bad right there. Probably could push it down a little bit more, and then this head sculpt onto the new Roman Reigns Elite. And that looks pretty good too if you want to put the Elite 110 head sculpt on there. Now this is custom painted, but you see what I'm talking about with the hair? See how much thicker and longer it is over here? It's just something to monitor, something to look at. And so for your Roman Reigns Elite figure comparisons, here is a bunch of different Roman Reigns Elites. Now I know they look pretty much identical, right? But I mean, the man's worn like the same damn gear. This is why I was so excited for the new upgrades here, man. I'm not even including the Shredder Roman Reigns, or there's plenty more of Top Picks and other things that you could throw in here. But from left to right, you have a Top Picks Elite Roman Reigns Beast Incarnate versus Tribal Chief 3-pack. I did cut the hair a little bit, so it's a little different, but that's this figure here with this kind of different red gauntlet. You have the Elite 110 Roman Reigns, the SummerSlam Elite Roman Reigns, the Hall of Champions 4-pack Elite Roman Reigns, the Elite 120 Roman Reigns, the Elite 117, and then a throwback old school Top Picks Roman Reigns over there as well. And then in the middle, you have the brand new Top Picks. So I just think this torso works so much better. I love the addition of the Ultimate Edition boots here, which looks so much better. New head sculpt looks really good as well. They just did a fantastic job here, man. And just to do a one-of-one comparison, I guess this is, I mean, technically these two probably, but I don't know. This Hall of Champions is on the shelf right now. So this is your old formula versus your new formula. And you could see that Ultimate Warrior torso, while not the worst thing of all time, it's just, it just doesn't fit, man. It's way too jagged, not as realistic, doesn't look as good. Head sculpt looks phenomenal, but he also has the older boots in there, and you can see the difference there. I don't know, just a lot going on here, man, a lot going on. I kind of want to put the smiling head sculpt on here, just to kind of see what that looks like too, just to, you know. Neck may be a little long on this new torso, but I think it's something you could play around with, but I think that looks pretty good as well. And then there's one last thing I want to do here. I want to come in and give the Tribal Chief his championship just to see what that looks like, and that looks damn good. You got the MDT Championship on there, and then you have the Undisputed Championship here. So we can put these on here, and look at that right there. Looking pretty damn good, man. That looks excellent. Look at the Tribal Chief right there. Undisputed Championship title belt looks incredible. Shout out to my man Dan Turnquist for these belts, man. They look just incredible, but I'm digging the new Roman, man. I think he's got a little something special going on there, young man. But I think that about all but wraps up the new WWE Elite Top Picks review today of CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Let's get into it, man, and tell you everything from top to bottom, including the CM Punk, or starting off with CM Punk. Starting off with CM Punk, I think on both head sculpts, I do like it. Now, do I think that that meme of them in the cage was so big that they needed to make it into the Top Picks wave? Probably not. I still think it was a funny moment, and it was cool that they made it. I like when they do fun stuff like this. Is it always a home run? No, but I think that they captured the likeness of, you know, that meme or that moment in the cage, and I think that is pretty cool there. I like when they take risks. I think that the head sculpts turned out pretty good for the most part, which I think is pretty funny. You know, we've seen this in the past with Mattel, which we touched on. I think the new torso for CM Punk works for the most part. I saw some people saying that they didn't like it. I like it, man. I think that, you know, the Daniel Bryan torso, this is a torso that I've talked about many years on the channel, talking about getting rid of it, talking about how it didn't really fit a lot of characters. And I think in the entire history of the line, I can name maybe 5 people that I think it doesn't really bother me on. And CM Punk was one of those guys. CM Punk was one of those guys that torso didn't bother me. Sami Zayn is another guy. I saw a lot of people saying that maybe the Matt Hardy or Bo Dallas torso would work. But, you know, I like that they tried something new. I like this new torso. Guys like Daniel Bryan. If Daniel Bryan was still in WWE, Chris Jericho comes back to WWE, Edge's older figures, those figures would look so much better with this type of torso. It's a mix of kind of that Terry Funk torso. It's not the most cut or muscular, but it's not also very narrow and skinny like they used to give other people, and it made these characters look very tiny. I think this is a great medium build. I like the addition of that. The double jointed arms are always great. The cloth goods shirt with no Velcro is fantastic. No tattoos on the knuckles. That's very bothersome. Hopefully they get that solved very soon. I did see them where they are addressing it. These legs on this CM Punk are not nearly as posable as I thought they'd be, man. They're pretty stiff stiff, all things considered. I don't think they're on ball joints like his other figures have been, and I could be wrong about that, but these legs were disappointingly stiff compared to maybe, you know, his Elite 121 that we got not too long ago, and some of his other figures. I think his Ultimate Edition legs feel really good too, and I know those are drop-down hips and they're not the same, but God, it would feel a lot better if we had some of those other things. So, I don't know, I was kind of disappointed in the leg stiffness, but the Roman Reigns figure, I like both head sculpts, man. I think that the fade on the sides is the closest it's been. They did a really good job there. I might take it a step further on surgery, and maybe we'll play with that. I think the biggest thing missing about these Roman Reigns figures now is just the beard shape. I think the lightness is there. I like the wet hair look. It's not as thick. It allows for better posability. And on this specific head sculpt you're seeing here, I wish that he had more of a pissed off look. He has kind of a blank expression. If he was more angry or slightly pissed off, you know, with the eyebrows slanted slightly down, I think that would have nailed. I think it would be absolutely money. But I still like the head sculpt. I like it a lot. I think that it turned out great. I love this torso. Neck may be a little long, but I don't think it bothers me, man. I think this torso is so much better for Roman. I think it's a perfect build. The shoulders and arms fit perfectly. And then on the legs, these are great. I think these are so much better than his previous legs. You know, these are the pinless. They gave him the ultimate boots. It doesn't have the ankle rocker, but I still think these are terrific. This Roman Reigns figure is really fun, and it's just about as good as I was hoping it would be. I'm very impressed with it. I like it a lot. Now, let's get into this handshaking gimmick, man. This handshaking gimmick isn't really a handshake. It's more of a dap up. And I tried to get it to fit with a handshake, and maybe I couldn't figure it out. Maybe I'm moronic, but I could not figure it out where it would handshake straight on like a traditional handshake. It's more of a dap up hand, which I don't remember them dapping up, or maybe they did, but it's still fun, man. I think that that's cool. I like when they do things outside of the box. I like when they get creative. You have some really unique things going on here. It'll just be, you know, how it unfolds. But it is interesting that they put these in the Top Picks wave. You know, not a 2-pack or a special edition set. It is just your traditional Top Picks wave, which is something we don't really see a lot. So kudos to Mattel for taking some risks here. I like it a lot. I think that this is a step in the right direction on a lot of things. And I'm impressed with these overall. I think that you will like these. Oh yeah, and there is a little looseness in the torso of the CM Punk. But overall, I like these figures a lot, man. If you guys like these figures, you like what you saw today, go over to Ringside Collectibles, use code MDTOYS, save yourselves 10%. But I think that these are pretty damn good, man. Pretty damn good. Now, where will they come in the top 25 elites of the year? I don't know. We'll have to see and find all that out. It should be a really fun countdown this year. Regardless of the fact, that is pretty much going to wrap it up for me today, man. I hope you guys did enjoy. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on all these. What are you thinking? Are you all aboard the train? Do you hate it? Do you like it? Let me know all of your thoughts down in the comment section. But I'm getting the hell out of here, man. Hope you guys did enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a blessed one, and I will catch you guys later.